I know. I'm sitting. However, I do have the disco light on for all of you. And I will be playing a song because don't I sound terrible? I sound awful. I do. But you know what? It kind of goes with the territory at this moment in time. And I couldn't not have the disco light on. I couldn't not start off with a song because even though I can't get up and dance right now, because it's not good. I'm here for you because we had to. But you know what? Let's do our song, which just disappeared on me. Ding-a-ling. I can't. All right, here we go. This is because you know why? Because we're talking about what tonight? It's all about journey. It's all about what's going on. I need to turn this up. Can I not hear it? I can't hear it because I'm sick. But you know what? It's okay. You're here. I'm here. Al's in the vortex somewhere. And it's Saturday night. So let's just do this, shall we? I feel like crap. I got the flu this past week or two. I sound like B. Arthur from Maude. Jesus. I'm drinking tea. I'm sleeping lots and I look like the bottom of a shoe. Maybe even a boot. I don't know. They say it's going around. I'm really mad. 'Cause I ain't got time. I'm to be in bed. Makes me mad. With all this stuff going around. It makes me sad. I had to get my butt off the ground. 'Cause you know why? 'Cause I'm here for you. That's right. Right. Someday love will find them. You know who we're talking about. They are real big grown men. Let's make this right now. I think you should just hug it out. Just don't go your separate ways. That was awful. That was the worst one yet. But you know what? That's what makes it fun, is that the worse the songs get, the better off I feel I am. I'm lying right now. That was terrible. And I literally wrote that 2 minutes before I pressed the live button. But it's all good, right? Okay, let me turn the light on so I can see. Thank you so much. Now let me turn my little $10.54 Amazon disco light off. Hold on. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Staying with you. All right.
Stay with me.
Stay with us. That was a great song.
Don't go anywhere.
Boy, she sounded good tonight.
Don't leave.
She wasn't reading any monitors or anything else. How does she know the words to that song? That's pretty good.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Did you know that Kathy said that the Separate Ways song was a divorce song? Did you know that, Kiki?
All right. So I think I read something about that, but here's the thing. My brain is working at maybe 20%, but 20%. I have to bring it up to 100 for Kim because she did so much work for the show tonight.
Who?
Kim, our friend Kim Stein.
Oh, yeah. She's a real nice lady.
She's awesome. And I just have to give a little disclaimer. All of the opinions presented forthcoming ward.
Ward? What the hell's a ward?
Like, literally, I have no vocabulary
right now.
Are all just opinions. They're opinions.
Right. There's no reflection of Kiki.fm or whatever.
No.
And keep your comments polite. I know everybody wants to go off on a tangent or whatever.
I know.
There's stuff going on, but just don't stoop down to other people's level. Just listen to who Kiki talks tonight. And the important thing is that I don't mean to mention Kathy's name for the second time tonight, and within 10 minutes, but she come on tonight and she's gonna go see Casey and the Sunshine Band.
All right, now I have to talk briefly about that.
Why?
So Al was very good about saying, let's be polite. Let's not do any name calling because this whole thing that's going on this week, and of course I had to be literally down for the count.
Right.
I didn't have time to think about it. I didn't have time to talk about it. Nothing. And
it's fine.
I do this once a year. I get this sick once a year, and this is my time. And let's hope this is it for another 364
and
days.
who is your nurse?
All right. And also, I would like to say thank you to Kick and Al. He was amazing to me. Now he's
Amazing.
sick,
No,
which
I'm
is
fine.
fabulous.
But listen to my voice. My voice sounds really
You sound
compelling.
amazing.
you
You
said-
look like crap, but you sound amazing. I look
But
worse.
you said to me tonight before we went on, you said, boy, you sound sexy.
I did say that.
You haven't said that to me in, I don't know,
Long
30
time.
years,
So
whatever.
wait a minute. So when you're in bed,
When you're
what
in
do you
bed,
do?
You like sleep.
You have a wonderful male nurse, which was Kicking Out, but you
Right.
can't have him. He's mine.
Right. Okay.
And you watch a lot of Netflix while
God,
you're
why?
coherent. So
Yeah.
against my better judgment, and I said I wasn't going to watch it.
Yeah.
But I watched Dahmer.
Who? No.
Al,
I just.
you have to.
No,
let me
no,
finish
no,
my
yeah,
sentence, Al. I'll turn your mic off.
No, you won't.
I know,
No
right? 'Cause
negative
I don't
comments tonight.
Now, Al, I have to say
I
something.
can't. Go back
So
to bed.
Kathy Waddle
Yes.
is at the Casey and the Sunshine show.
Right.
When I tell you my favorite song by Casey and the Sunshine Band is Please Don't Go.
Great song.
Has a whole different meaning now. That's all I'm going to say.
Really?
All I'm going to say.
Really? No
and
kidding.
it's not good. And I don't want to hear that song now for the next 25 years.
But
I'm hoping that feeling goes away eventually because
Right.
that is my favorite song. But all
Please
I can
Don't
say
Go by Casey and the Sunshine Band.
if you've watched that series on Netflix this week, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I'm very sad.
But
very sad.
We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking to a very nice woman who knows her stuff. And we figured we'd have her on. And she's a good friend of ours and a nice lady.
Yeah.
And she knows all about that. And by the way, Kurt Andrews is on here tonight.
Oh, hi, Kurt.
He went to see Ringo Starr last night in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Oh, lucky man.
And I'll tell you, I watched Kurt's video lives or whatever.
Yeah.
I tell you, and I said this to you this morning, I think.
Do you know my name?
Kiki.
You were just, it sounded like you were going to call me Daniel.
No, be quiet, will you?
And I'm like, who is that?
No, listen. So when I was watching Ringo Starr, I had the same feeling I had in my heart when I watched Lou Graham on stage. You're watching iconic. It's history. It's history.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm sure Kurt felt the same way, and all his friends down there and everything else. And it was the last summer concert at the amphitheater down there in Bridgeport. But it was cold as hell. I mean,
cold as ice.
Ringo was wearing like a hooded sweatshirt and everything else. But Edgar Winter was on stage. That was great.
How cute is that?
Oh my God.
Ironic. Edgar Winter. And it was cold.
It's the singing Free Ride. But be able to do this and see Ringo Starr in the flesh, it was great. There's nothing like the original singers of all.
Can I just tell you
what?
That is definitely, I don't talk about Ringo as often as I should, but that would definitely be one of my bucket list items is to meet him.
Right.
Because him and Paul McCartney, I mean, two Beatles still alive, still with us, still performing. Is amazing to me.
The Beatles would not be the Beatles without John, Paul, Ringo, and George.
Yes.
The Beatles would not be the Beatles without those four guys.
So it's awesome Kurt got to see him last night. Good for you,
and
Kurt.
Def Leppard wouldn't be Def Leppard without Joe Elliott.
Oh, here we go with your whole survey thing.
No, I did a survey this week, but we'll talk about that later on.
So I want to say hi to everybody who I can see at this moment. Kathy Bailey, hi. Kathy Waddle, hi. Jan Sylvia, Nancy, DG, Kurt. And that's who I can see right now. So hi to everybody. If I missed you, I'm so sorry I can't see you in the lineup here. I've never been in a lineup. Have you ever been in a lineup, Al?
Yes, I have.
You have?
That's a story for another week.
Well, I don't know if I can be with you anymore now. I should have done a background check.
Go to jail with me.
35 years ago.
But no, put some handcuffs on. We'll be fine.
No.
So as Kiki said at the beginning of the broadcast, be nice tonight.
Hi, Carol Jean.
Don't be rude, because if you do, we'll block you. You won't be able to come on the channel again. And we like to leave the comments on, but I want everybody to be polite.
Before Kim comes on here, this whole thing this week, though, from what I've been reading, is really putting a division between fans, and I don't like that. I don't.
No. Yep.
I personally don't like that. Listen, at the end of the day, we love Journey. We love Journey for what they have stood for over the decades. I mean, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary next year. So all I want to make sure we bring forth after tonight and after the second is that we still love Journey for their music. We still love them for what they have given us over the past 50 years. We cannot forget that. And calling names and spreading hate about this one or this one's right and this one's not and vice versa. Let's just also before I forget this, we will all of us, no matter who it is, will never know the true story and all of the back stuff of what is going on here. We will never know that. We're not going to know all the details because we're not on the inside. And nor do I
Right.
want to be quite honest. I'd rather be here, thankfully, because there's so much anger and
It's
so
terrible.
much stuff being
I
tossed around.
have never seen so much drama in my life.
So
I feel like I'm watching a reality show.
let's just remember
Right.
why we love Journey, and that's it. And enjoy what they have given to us and what they still continue to give.
Right.
This stuff is out there. It is what it is.
Right.
But again, let's just be adults
Adults.
about this whole thing. We of course, you have your opinions. I'm not saying you cannot have your opinions.
Right.
Please, Jesus, you have your opinion.
Yeah. And we all
I have my opinions. You have your opinions. That's great.
And we all love Steve Perry too.
We do.
And
we do.
And
we love Arnell and we love Steve Augeri. I mean, we
even love Robert Fleischman a little bit.
Of course.
You know, I mean, just,
oh my God.
And we love Ross. We love Steve Smith.
I mean, you know,
and that's about afterwards, after you talk to Kim here, who is, we're going to talk to from Las Vegas. I'm going to be a little unfiltered for a while. This way. Okay, so I'll be back.
Okay. That should be fun.
You're right, because I'm not going to be rude, and I don't want anybody else to be rude. But I'm going to say what I have to do. Is no reflection of the station or the listeners or anything else.
Well, it is a reflection of the station because it's our
station. No. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna call the lawyer.
We are the station.
I'm gonna call the lawyer.
Did you forget about that?
Oh my God, I just can't.
I can't.
Goodbye.
So Kim is getting ready to come on with us, and we're just gonna. I went to a lot, and I know she's done a bunch of research herself. I think the goal here tonight is really just to break down this lawsuit, which we have never done here before. It's, a little bit of a different approach on things. And the fact that I saw so quickly how heated this has gotten, I said, you know what, Kim, let's go. And she was all over it. So I truly want to say thank you to her before she even gets here. And everybody, make sure you show her a whole bunch of love. And because like I said, she's done a bunch of work on this in a short amount of time as well. So let's see if Judy, how's it going? I know, play nice together. That's what I was saying. Can't we all just get along? It's all. I mean, at the end of the day, but it's not going to happen that way, unfortunately. When you're dealing with corporations and big conglomerates like this, sadly, no. But does Def Leppard fight? I don't think they fight. I don't think so. Well, we know Aerosmith does, but I don't think Def Leppard argue. Well, they might argue, but they don't show it. So that's a good example. Let's get Def Leppard on, all of them. Let's have them all come into the little shack here and tell me how they don't not get along with each other. Because you never hear anything about that.
Well, one lady I do get along with is Kim Stein. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Kim.
How are you?
Good. I am doing well. How are you? Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kim, I just want to do a quick little intro here. Now, everybody knows with the recent announcement of Steve Perry's lawsuit against Neal and Jonathan, I asked you, my good friend, Kimberly Stein, attorney with Flangas Law Group in Las Vegas, Nevada, to share with us what this all really means in simple terms, because a lot of this stuff, I just don't get it. Now, Kim has a ton of history in the music business as an attorney, as she represents Little Anthony and the Imperials, Jay-Z, yes, Jay-Z, and the members of the best male strip show on the Strip, Thunder Down Under. And that must be like the most horrible day at the office ever. Just saying. Everyone in the comments, please say a big hello to attorney Kim Stein. Hi, Kim.
Hi. Thank you, everybody. The Thunder is always interesting. People don't realize if we're getting into copyright issues, dance moves are copyrightable by the Thunder. And, it's a tough job, but someone has to do it.
They are not. Are you serious? They're copyrightable?
Yes, they are.
Dance moves?
The dance routines. Mm-hmm.
Stop. So have you had to go after anyone for copying their moves?
I have, actually.
Like, and how do you even find out about something like that? Hey, listen, dude, you're moving like my thunder down under. How we're taking you to court.
You get notified from other people. You keep your ears to the ground. There's services that tell us what's going on. And we even had an issue here with the thunder where we had two gentlemen dress up, pretending to be the thunder and to take pictures on the strip with tourists.
But like
And we send a cease and desist letter. So,
oh my gosh, and you see that all the time on the strip, though, is people pretending to be celebrities, and is that all copyrightable too?
it depends. So it depends on how, you can imitate someone live in entertainment, but not for money. And the way they're doing it with the pictures and there's publicity rights as well. So we get into some other issues.
Like who the heck? I had no idea that a strip show it is their dance moves are. I had no clue. So there's our first thing we've learned from you tonight. Thank you. Because now I'm
Well, they're entertainers, not strippers. We
all
have
right.
to be
Sorry.
clear.
All right. I'm sorry. All right. For the really nice thing. Now, question is, do you get free tickets? I'm just saying.
I do. If you ever want to come, we can leave Al and Michael and we can go to the show.
You know
You're
what? I mean, they are entertainers. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. So I just want to give everyone, a little briefing about you here. Now, some info in how you got to where you are. You graduated from the Boston University School of Law. So you have New England roots. Now tell us how you got from here, because I'm in Rhode Island, to where you are in Las Vegas.
Well, I actually started in Las Vegas. I've been here since high school.
Oh, no kidding.
Before I was an attorney, I was in the gaming industry.
Okay.
And I actually designed slot machines as well as financial aspects. So I got very involved in gaming and intellectual property. I even worked in Atlantis in the Bahamas to what you see now today. If you go down on the commercials, Royal Tower, I was there to open that.
No kidding.
So then I went to law school. So, and in Boston, at Boston University, celebrating our 150th anniversary this year.
Woo!
And so it's very exciting. And so after law school, I wanted to come back home. My parents are here. Again, I got married to my husband, who was born and raised here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And used my background of gaming and finance and to launch into my law practice, and hence how I got into entertainment. A lot of casinos obviously have a lot of shows. Got to meet some very interesting people along the way, and with my background on programming with slot machines, with copyrights, got involved with copyrights and trademarks specifically. Done some patent litigation as well, which is not as exciting for people think, but analyzing code on patents. But there's sometimes some interesting aspects to the litigation, but it's not as exciting as people think.
Yeah.
One thing I should say, and I know people get involved in all these lawsuits, and we're seeing a lot of social media with the lawsuit we're talking about. They're usually not this exciting. And they're not to be really brought out in public opinion. I actually try to avoid the public opinion, which I believe Steve Perry is actually doing very well with. And I'm sure his attorney, who I've known, Matt Solomon, in California, is a very good entertainment attorney and IP attorney, has probably advised Steve Perry. So one thing I wanted to say, if you're wondering why Steve Perry hasn't responded to Schon's kind of social media rant, that's why. As an attorney, I would tell my clients not to.
It is interesting how they treat it differently. And I have always noticed, and we always say it here, is that Steve Perry's quiet most of the year about everything. Like he comes out a few times and he'll say a few different things here and there, or when he was promoting his Christmas album last year, and he doesn't say much about much.
Correct. But then you have Mr. Schon on the other side. He's a little bit more out there. I think him and his wife particularly. And he hasn't hidden the fact that he was going to go ahead and fix some of the trademark issues. So I do find that interesting here, because you can go back a couple years ago where he is quoted many times saying he felt that there was issues with the band and the business part of the band, because now he's the manager of the band. I don't know if people realize that.
Yes. All right. We're going to go back to that in just a minute, because that is definitely one of the points I have for you. But just to, still touch upon your background a little bit more and how you and I met. You and I met through your dear friend, John Payne, former lead singer of Asia. Now, how did you two eventually become friends and find each other?
So John Payne actually is the co-creator of a show here in Las Vegas called Rating the Rock Vault.
Mm-hmm.
And his old manager from Asia back in 1992 was one of the producers of the show. And they attempted to try to terminate him and not give him any rights to his show. So John and I had a mutual friend at the time who introduced us,
Mm-hmm.
and we filed a lawsuit to protect John's rights. And John and I became friends through that lawsuit. I've handled some other lawsuits for him since, and for some of his friends as well.
Perfect. Yeah, because you guys have been connected. That was what, 2013, 15-ish?
2014, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So right in between.
Of course, I missed 1 year. Now, you've been a lawyer, Kim, right, for 20 plus years. Am I correct on that?
Just that 20 years, yes.
Okay. And then we had the whole world shut down. Now, you're in the entertainment capital of the world, and everything shut down, including Las Vegas, including live music, including all of it, everything that we enjoy and live for and breathe for every single day. So tell us about that experience for you as an attorney, and this is the world you live and breathe by. Like, what was that whole experience like for you and your clients who were not able to work at all?
Well, it was interesting. Certain clients was very difficult for, but the one thing that was from a personal note,
Mhm.
you could drive down to the strip and actually drive on the strip because everything was closed. So it was just a little eerie. Haven't been able to drive down the strip since I can remember.
Wow.
From a law standpoint, what the interesting part is that we were deemed essential, so we never closed. And certain clients, unfortunately, I have a client that was a major nightclub company,
Mhm.
One Oak in New York, but they had other nightclubs in LA, Japan, everything. And the owner, Richie Kiva, went from owning and being the top 10 nightclubs in the world brand to having nothing the next day. Everything is shut down.
Gosh.
And, clients like John Payne, for example, not able to perform. But I will also say what was interesting is seeing how they pivot to do different things. So, for example, John Payne was doing producing and catching up on certain albums, but producing for movies and for other people in his music studio at home. I have another client who's a singer here, an entertainer on the strip of imitators such as Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton. And
Kelly Vaughn.
she started, yes, and she
Love
started
her.
teaching on the internet through Zoom to how to sing for people and doing lessons. So
How
people
cool.
really learned how to adapt to a different world. And we also had to as lawyers, because all of a sudden court is now online. And there's some famous videos out there where someone forgot their filter and he comes and makes an appearance in court as an attorney as a cat.
Oh, I remember that.
Which is one of my favorites, by the way. But we also had issues with that. We had to adapt. You have to make sure you're dressed. It's very hard to get motivated when you're sitting in a computer versus sitting in a courtroom. But you can also remember they can see you. And so certain lawyers all of a sudden are in their car, and you have certain clients that are not really dressed appropriately for court. There's one I've seen a clip where a woman was actually in the shower for a criminal hearing.
Stop.
Literally in the shower.
How does she even get away with that?
She didn't.
Okay.
The judge
Good.
gave some contempt issues.
Good.
But we also, as lawyers, have a different standard. But I also have clients that are internet celebrities. So they always are working, and because the social media is still there, and so kept me busy. And some people, because they were bored, I think there was more lawsuits than we saw.
Oh my gosh.
And because people said, well, I have nothing else to do, so I never stopped working. Like I said, it just changed a little bit of what some of my friends were doing or how I was doing my work, because I have certain clients I never got to meet. And can you imagine if I never got to meet John in person?
I know, right?
It would be a different world, and we would never have gotten to meet as well.
Absolutely. We danced together with plastic trees. I mean, in Long Island, that's how we met. Yes. And it was great. And I'll never forget it for as long as I live. So, so your internet clients, your social media internet celebrity clients. Now, a lot of, I don't know who you represent or anyone like that, but a lot of these internet social media celebrities, they focus on travel and literally putting themselves in places. So how did that work for them? And did their business die off a bit, or did it get stronger?
Well, I will tell you, I have one client, he is known as a playboy and traveling around, so his life had to be a little different. Being home, I could tell you, is a little bored. But when he gets bored, he gets creative. So he does and they do creative things. But yes, it was a different content than we're used to seeing. We're not seeing him jetting across the world with 30 girls. We're seeing him at home with a girlfriend and doing some crazy things at his home. I can tell you he added things to his house. For example, a foam pit and that you jump into, and batting cages. And so it was a homebody, but the minute he can leave, he did. So he's back around the world. He's in Europe right now, actually.
Oh my gosh. So what about your clients who couldn't pivot? Now, are they okay today, or are they still just maybe stuck back 3 years ago?
Well, luckily, they're financially a little bit more difficult for everybody, but none of my clients really. There was a little bit probably of depression, but now that we're back open and they're able to perform, but honestly, all of my clients really are amazing people that did something else. Little Anthony, for example, and I have to give a shout out to him. He's amazing. He's 81.
God bless him.
He just released a brand new album. He worked on the album during COVID because he could not perform, and that's his life. He's been performing since he was 17 in 1957. Wow. And he just got nominated for a Grammy for that new album. And so it's amazing. So I have to give him a huge shout out for that.
Congratulations to him. That's so, at 81 years old, getting nominated for a Grammy.
He covered Billy Joel's New York State of Mind, and I do have to send it. It's amazing. The album it's an anthology, and he even talks, but it's an amazing version. And he's obviously loved by. I mean, Aaron Neville will tell you, and Lady Gaga, for example, called him.
Wow.
A lot of people want to sing with him. He's an icon, but it was also having to fight through that depression of he's not out there. Because one of the problems with most performers is their whole identity is performing. Yeah. But I can tell you the Thunder, for example, a lot of the Thunder, they're all from down under, and they had to go home. But we were able to then come up with an online version to get them performing again.
Come on. And now were people paying for that?
Yeah, they were. And I think people were also wanting to get out and at least feel connected.
Yeah.
So, again, it's pivoting, but it's good to see the creativity of what's been done. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of music and a lot of new albums coming out, though, because particularly in the music industry. And on the acting side, a lot of dub overs for different projects or editing projects that have kind of been left for a long time that have been out there. So they've been reproduced on some of those clients as well.
And I have to agree with you. That's been the word the past 3 years is pivot. I mean, it's kind of going away now, but that's what people had to do. And a lot of musicians that I had spoken to, Joel Hoekstra, given guitar lessons, like you said, virtually. It's just amazing what a lot of the artists that I'm connected to were able to do. And I give them so much credit for pivoting and creating something new. And now they can get back out there and do it. But if they had to come back, they know exactly what to do now.
Yes.
So now that
But
everyone,
hopefully it doesn't come back.
you and me both, and I think everybody can safely say we all hope it doesn't come back. But now that everyone has a great handle on your history and what you're about and the length of time you've been in the business, you know your stuff. You're a boss, babe. You definitely know what's going on here. But the big music news this week that has come out, of course, has been the announcement of Steve Perry filing a lawsuit against Neal Schon and Jonathan Cain. But is it indirectly against them because Steve is actually going against their Freedom JN LLC? Is that correct? Or is it, but it's run by Neal and Jonathan. So explain that part of it to us.
Sure. So what happened was, and there's some different agreements, and let me just say one thing. I am not a judge here, so I cannot be the final adjudicator. I can only give my opinion. That's what lawyers do. We can argue each side of it.
Yep.
But there'll be a judge at some point who makes a decision here, in this case, a panel. So these are just my opinions. I have to give that little legal disclaimer. I am a lawyer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I did say that beforehand, too. These are all opinions.
But from my understanding in reading this 24-page complaint that was filed by Steve Perry's counsel, apparently the band members had an original agreement. And what happened is that Neal Schon and Jonathan went ahead and formed their own company. Now, I believe Neal Schon is saying, based on advice of counsel, we don't know why, but I would always advise clients to have an entity around them. So why do we put an entity? So an LLC or a corporation, it's different structures and there's different reasons, but you would have a manager of that LLC. If it's an LLC, you have members that are the owners.
Okay.
And in this case, it would be Jonathan and Neal for this Freedom JN LLC, which, by the way, is a Delaware entity that was formed.
Okay.
And you form an entity to protect yourself from liability so you don't get sued personally or don't get served with a lawsuit personally.
Right.
And it gives you some protection and also some anonymity, because when they file this, because they're famous people, a lot of times they wouldn't want their name out there. So that it doesn't really mean anything that there's an entity here, because in reality, because they're the sole members, they're going to take this lawsuit obviously personally, which they have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And you can understand why. So 24-page lawsuit. And from my perception of it, it sounds like Steve is saying he should have been consulted before Freedom JN LLC attempted to register trademarks for 20 songs, 20 of the band's biggest songs to be put on merch. But the confusing part to me is that if Steve is not part of that LLC, he wouldn't be consulted because he's not part of it. So should he have been made part of that LLC if he is to be consulted about everything that goes on regarding the band?
So that's the interesting part, and that's a really great question. So if you go through, apparently there was an agreement. They call it in the lawsuit the Elmo agreement. That was in 1997 between Schon, Cain, and Perry. And it was a partnership agreement. And the reason that's important is it related to these 20 songs and others. And it's interesting, it's about these 20 songs. And interestingly, there's a lot of big titles, but Don't Stop Believing, I don't believe, is in this lawsuit. And this lawsuit's not about the song copyright or title itself. And we can get into that if you want to know the difference. But what's interesting, and it's about only the trademarks for the merchandise related to these song titles.
Okay.
But according to the agreement, in reality, even though this was brought to the trademark office, and I had a lawyer once tell me, a very experienced lawyer, that every civil litigation, which this is about a breach of contract. In reality, when you read through all of this, it's a breach of contract. And what Perry is saying is, we had an agreement. Don't worry about the other guys, which is you had the band manager, Herbie, originally, and Valerie and Smith. Let's not worry about them. And we can talk about, there was another lawsuit with them. But this is, we had an agreement, and instead of including me, Schon and Cain went ahead and formed their own entity and filed these applications for trademark.
Which wouldn't have been upholdable, right? I mean, like, that's not even a word, but how could, and again, not pointing any fingers or anything, but how could Neal and Jonathan think they could do that and bypass Steve if he has to be part of it? I'm so confused by that.
Well, it's interesting because Neal Schon decided to answer on social media, and and let me be very clear. This is just a lawsuit that's been filed.
Mm-hmm.
Schon and Cain have until October 25th to file an answer in the trademark office.
Oh, okay.
And then, so we haven't heard from them on the legal standpoint or their lawyers. So we don't know. And one thing in a lawsuit, which is really interesting, if you go to watch a litigation, if you go to a trial,
Mm-hmm.
and you only hear one side, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to rule for them.
Right.
Then you hear the other side, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to hear from them.
Yeah.
So then you hear a reply, which we call a rebuttal, and you're like, okay. And that's why we have a judge, right? Because we don't know, and we have not heard from them. But after October 25th, this case goes forward, and there'll be briefing and discovery to figure out exactly what happened, who has what rights. And they won't even get to what they call, if they ask for, because it's not required in this type of case, oral argument, and they don't even get to request it until March 28th of 2024. It's a long time.
Wow.
So this case is not going to be over tomorrow unless they settle.
I was going to
Now,
ask you that. Can they
cases settle?
Yeah, can they do that and just get rid of all of the stuff you just talked about?
They can, but at this point, there's no leverage to settle. I'm sure that they might, before somebody filed a lawsuit like this, because the applications that they filed for these songs were filed in February and March of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I guarantee at the earliest. So my view on these songs, my guess they've been in discussions. We've also heard there was rumors of them getting back together.
I know.
I have the feeling that obviously, and I don't know, I'm not on the inside, let me be clear, but I think this is a big sign that clearly that discussion broke down.
Kind of think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so the lawyer filed, but it doesn't mean it's over for everybody out there. I still think that they can try to work it out. But, Steve's shown in his own words, and I didn't write this, but he wrote on his social media that this is a bunch of total crap.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how it goes. And he said that he's saying that Steve Perry and Valerie and Smith and Herbie Herbert, who was the former manager, called a board meeting without him. And he's saying they voted him out. And so they tried to take him out. So he and his wife found a legitimate attorney and then went forward. The problem I have when I read through all of that,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm still not clear on, is if Cain was part of that originally, why is he with Cain now? And clearly him and Cain are the only two members that are now performing with the band. So we don't, as I said, we don't know. Now, Schon has some good reasons of why they're trademarking, but I'm also going to ask why now. And you might ask that because these songs have been around a lot longer.
Right.
And we have what we call dates of use. And they're saying that they were first used in these type of T-shirts and stuff in 1996, which, by the way, is one of the issues for cancellation about use of the mark before when the use started, and because this is a trademark case. But so it's really interesting because some of these songs, as we know, I mean, one of my favorite songs of all time is Only the Young, Journey.
Yeah.
And that song's been around a lot longer than 1996.
So I think there's still so much more that, and I said this before the broadcast even began, we just don't know. I think there's a lot. Maybe we won't know. Maybe because it just seems like there's a lot of open ends here. Now, you said you would explain to us about copyright and trademark. Can you please do that too? Because that's also confusing.
Yes. So a copyright, it would be like the music lyrics itself to the music.
Okay.
And or the performance of the music. So the actual recording is a copyrightable act. So, for example, if I don't have the copyright to Only the Young, I can actually sing it in public live, but I can't sell a recording of that.
Okay.
Because unless I pay the writer of that song for the copyright to the lyrics.
Gotcha.
But I also cannot sell my recording. You always see that. I can't sell my recording of a concert. And that's why they always say you can't record it except for my personal use. So, but I can't sell it for money, for profit. I record it for myself, but I can't use that in profit. That's copyright.
All right. So let me ask you.
Trademarks are a little different.
Let me ask you a quick question before we move on to trademark. So can you explain to me why and how all of this concert footage gets onto YouTube? I mean, full concerts, and they stay there forever. How does that happen? Because wouldn't bands say, listen, I'm okay with you showing clips of us on stage, but doesn't it's nice that people who can't go to the show, they can watch these concerts in full on YouTube for free. But isn't that a hindrance to the artist and taking away something from them? Or is it, I don't know. I just don't understand how that happens.
Well, there's certain bands that take control of that by making sure it's only live streamed. Some bands have gone so far as having you check your phones or any type of recording at the door.
Yep.
You can't bring them in.
Yep.
Chris Rock actually famously does that here in Las Vegas. You cannot have a phone at any of his performances.
Oh, wow.
So he's very strict. I can tell you. But the issue is on YouTube, certain people have free content on YouTube and certain people charge. So the footage that they're not charging for, they're not making money on.
Right.
You cannot monetize YouTube unless you're charging someone, and that's a different aspect. So on YouTube, if you filmed a concert and you had a channel that someone paid for,
yep,
and it was showing on that, I can take it down.
Okay, gotcha.
But YouTube is also, because they're a publisher, they're not liable personally as a company. So, it's very hard to keep up on everybody. So that's why they try. If you go to certain concerts, you have the really annoying ushers who tell you to put your phone down. You can't record.
Yeah.
That's because the band has told them they're going to be strict about.
Mm-hmm.
But some bands are like, you know what? I want the freedom because any press is good press. My show's out there. It will make people want to come to my shows. So it really is up to the actual band if they want to enforce it.
Gotcha. Okay. Trademark.
Trademark's a whole nother thing. It's called the Lanham Act, which is the Trademark Act. It was actually codified in 1946. So any trademark attorney will always say the Lanham Act. So if you ever hear that, you can be smart and say, I know what that is. It's the primary statute of law in the United States. And what it does is it prohibits infringement, dilution, or false advertising of a trademark. What is a trademark? It can be the mark itself. So Xerox for years tried to make sure they were trademarked and not become what they call common use, because everybody says now they're not copying, but they're Xeroxing. There was a reason for that. McDonald's itself, the name is a trademark, but the golden arches are also a trademark. Even though they're an image, there's a mark in the image.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, the image itself, there was no words in it, it was just the golden arches.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't say it in there. That would be a copyright. There's a difference of the two. But the main part of trademarks is the name itself or a logo. So, Nike, Let's Do It is a trademark. Nike is a trademark. It's also the name of a business. And people can trademark. As a matter of fact, a really interesting thing is a band's name, like Journey, is a trademark itself, the name. So you don't have another band seeing Journey. So, and how you can use trademarking when we talk about infringement. And the reason for trademarking, and particularly in this case was for like T-shirts, was people were selling fake T-shirts, fake merchandise, not official from the band, with the Journey name on it or the song logo on it. And that's what a trademark would stop, and you stop infringement. And the Lanham Act gives us a lot of power to actually use it to seize fake merchandise.
Oh, okay.
And that's the reason you use trademarks. So we here have a lot of conventions in Las Vegas, and a lot of people do fake items. How do you stop fake merchandise from using your name? You seize it at those conventions.
Gotcha. So speaking about copyright and trademark, Neal has been very open about how he's had to try and he did regain control of the name Journey. What happened there, and how does one of the biggest bands in the world not have control of their own name? Like, how did that happen?
Well, here's the sad part of the music business, and that's why there's a lot of groups now that look for rights, and there's a lot of groups out there that fight for artist rights. Because back in the day is not that long ago, right? We're getting older, but this is not 2020s anymore. But you go back 50s, 60s, 70s, you had a lot of music, what we call promoters. You had the big studios, and you had these bands that were struggling. They were just starting. All they cared about was getting signed. Different world today. Now you can go on the internet, you can do your own promotion. But back then, as you know, it was if you didn't get signed and played on the radio, and if you don't get play on the radio unless that record company, use their influence and money to get the record played, and you didn't get booked into the venues to have concerts. It was a grassroots type of thing to get it done.
Right.
And so these bands that are just starting out, like Journey in San Francisco, when they meet, their big issue is they have a manager, and I'm going to be honest, there was not a lot of nice managers out there. These guys are very rich, and the bands weren't. And you see that a lot. And these promoters were out there. So the record companies made a lot of money, and that's why we've seen some very famous cases. Actually, one of the most famous trademark cases in the music business is Prince. Do you remember there was a time where he was formerly known as, and he was a symbol?
Right.
Best trademark case ever. That lawyer was the most brilliant. We all study it. What happened was he was under contract to his record label, and he could not do a new album that he wanted to do under the name Prince. But what happened was the lawyers at the time at the record company said, you can't use the name likeness, but they forgot to use the word symbol. So this lawyer figured that out. So that's why he became a symbol. And you can always say you're formally known as if you're the person.
Wow.
And so it's not using the trademark. That's why, for example, John Payne can't use Asia. He uses
former lead singer of
Asia with John Payne.
Yeah.
Is a difference of the name.
Yes.
These all get into these lawyer stuff, and I don't want to bore your listeners, but it's that specific. So here, I don't know exactly. I'm not in this band. I have not represented Neal Schon. I haven't represented Steve Perry or their former manager. But back in the day, it looks like, we don't know what contracts they signed.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is if a band forms today, I have a contract with them. For example, I did that with a band, if you remember Rat.
Oh, yeah.
There were some issues with them not that long ago, a couple of years ago now. And we had to resolve who has the rights. Because in this case, you have, original members. Perry, obviously, Schon, Cain are original members. There's also Valerie and Smith. So they form a band. They come up with the name. You always have someone fight who the name is. And the issue was, if it was today, I would have formed an LLC for the band. And all 5 of them would have been members, and you would have had what we call an operating agreement, or which would lay out who has what rights and how you vote. Because obviously, if you have 5 people, not all 5 are ever going to agree. But you have an agreement that can say by majority or supermajority, depending on what the issue is. For example, if they were going to dissolve. So that way, we wouldn't end up in these rights. But this wasn't done in the 70s or the 80s. And that's why we're here. Because and then you also have some bad managers, and I think Schon's not been quiet that he felt that Herbie Herbert, didn't do the band as his. Well, I think he says he didn't do them right, and he felt there was a lot of mismanagement, hence why he's taken over. But again, there's always a lot that goes on, and unfortunately, with these bands, when they become super successful, no one ever thinks they do. You could take the smallest business. If it's 2 best friends, we don't need an agreement. You do. Because when it comes to business, and that's the thing people forget, this is a music business, not just music. We love to just go and watch shows, and we all do, and we feel we're there, but it's a business. And people do things. I will tell you, it can even go to Little Anthony. In the trademark office, a very similar case, one of the original Imperials, who was Little Anthony's former brother-in-law, got him to sign a document he didn't know he was signing, to sign his name away, Little Anthony away, to this other person. And we ended up having to sue to get Little Anthony's name back, which we did.
Oh my God. That is terrible. That is awful though. Like I get it.
Money.
I know money, greed. I get it. But geez, like How do people think that they might get away with it today, but tomorrow it's going to come back and get you, like no matter what?
You'd like to think that, but I will tell you, you never know. And I hate to be on it, to be a cynic, but judges don't always get it right. Lawyers don't always get it right. People don't always get it right. And sometimes the person with more money gets it better than the other person. And the little guy sometimes is a little bit more hurt than the other guy because someone has enough money they can keep you in lawsuits and litigation for a long time.
Oh, that's hard. I think that's horrible because it's so stressful. Now, going back to what Steve Perry said in 1997, an agreement was put in place, like you said, and I quote, Steve said that no partner could approve or exploit any composition they made in connection to any products without prior written unanimous consent of all partners in each instance. Neal and Jonathan would be fully aware of such an agreement. And going back to what we talked about not too long ago, it sounds like Steve was very well aware of what Neal was doing with the whole trademarking because they spoke about it and Neal was really open about it. And he was trying to do this for the Journey name. So how did this exactly all fall through the cracks like this and get so messy? Because Steve clearly knew what Neal was doing, but now it's a problem. So what happened there, do you think?
Well, I'm going to go all the way back.
Okay.
This Elmo agreement, as we'll call it, in 1997 is only between three members. And something that we forget about because this lawsuit probably overshadows because Steve Perry is obviously a bigger name. But in 2020, Neal Schon and Jonathan Cain fired Valerie and Smith over a copyright lawsuit that they brought. And what's very interesting in this 1997 agreement, they're not included, Valerie and Smith. They were members of that band. So there is a question, and we don't know. And again, on when they did the agreement in 1997, where there's only Schon, Cain, and Perry, if that's actually a legitimate agreement. Now, I would not tell my clients to violate a valid agreement. There's something called declaratory action. I would tell them to go to court because I wouldn't take action. But we don't know what happened because we know in 2019, Schon and Cain transfer this composition documents to this new entity. And as you said, Perry seems to be aware of it.
Right.
So we don't know if there was an agreement because, again, we haven't seen their answer. We don't know. We know there's been discussions. So we don't know if they didn't tell Perry. But if it's not in writing, that's the other problem. I always tell people, get it in writing because, otherwise it's a he said in this case. And by the way, then it all comes down to who you believe more and all of the witnesses. And I guarantee there's more witnesses here than the three big names. There's going to be other people.
Well, do you think the whole coup d'etat / takedown that was potentially happening a few years ago with Jonathan and Neal and Steve and Herbie and Ross and Steve Smith, do you think maybe at that time, Ross and Steve Smith could have potentially been removed from that said agreement from 1997? Do you think that's even a thing?
I can't tell because when I read and all I can do, I don't have a copy of the agreement. I can only read the complaint where they cite to this agreement. Mm-hmm. They cite to it as it was entered in 1997 with only the three. I can't figure out why the other two weren't included. Now, we're also talking about 20 song titles. And these song titles, maybe Valerie and Smith didn't contribute. We know that Steve Perry wrote a lot of these songs, and some on his own and some with Schon and Cain. I don't know, though, why Schon or Cain would feel emboldened to take a song that was fully written by Perry, except we're not talking about the lyrics and the copyright. We're talking about trademark, which is a different issue. The other issue is Steve Perry hasn't performed in how long with Journey? And the issue about trademark is you have to continue to use it or you lose it. So it could be that, again, Schon and Cain have lawyers and good lawyers as well. Mm-hmm. And we don't know if their belief was because Perry hasn't performed and used those songs and used the merchandise. He hasn't gone on the road and sold T-shirts with these names, which is really just about T-shirts, by the way. I can say it could be jackets, T-shirts, all of that, but we all know what's the main thing everybody buys at concerts, T-shirts. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to use T-shirts and kind of all inclusive. But the issue is Steve Perry, and that's going to be one of their defenses, it would be mine. He hasn't sold anything and had any use. So you could lose your actual trademark. And by the way, the other thing to just point out is something people don't realize. You can have a trademark without filing in the trademark office. There's common law rights in trademark. So you don't have to file. You file to give notice to people. So what's interesting is they could have still enforced it, but Schon clearly was giving notice. My guess, not to Perry, but to other people to say, you're not going to be selling our fake merchandise anymore. We're not going to take this anymore, which is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. There's so much stuff to this here. So, all right. So what you just joggled something in my head. Now, Steve Perry, though, made this, I think, genius financial move when he left the band in 97 about how now he's down to getting 12.5% of all record sales from this point forward, as well as touring sales and merch sales and all of that. So wouldn't that still make him owner of the merch trademark? Because he already has
contract, yes.
Okay.
But here's the issue. On the copyright part, he still always owns, if he wrote the songs, he always gets his percentage and he'll get his royalty check.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, that's the other thing during COVID, a lot of these performers who at least own the royalties to their songs got their royalty check still. You know, anytime you go into a restaurant and they're playing background music, that out of a band, they have to pay to the three big names, you know, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, a right to use live music, and then they pay the artist royalties for every time that's on there. So Steve Perry still has the rights, but the issue is, and that's why he had to make a contract in 1997, right?
Right.
Because if he just walked away, that's it. He doesn't have certain rights. He has his copyright, but he wouldn't have his trademark because he wouldn't have continued use.
Wow. There's so much, like, there's just so much here. And another question I had, Separate Ways. Now, that had a huge resurgence this summer for being part of the Netflix series Stranger Things. Steve revamped that song. He redid it, and Separate Ways got to the top of the charts. Once again, making everyone some coin. Can't be a bad day there. And Jonathan and Neal were very happy about that. But now my question is, okay, so Steve went and took this song, Separate Ways, which they all, I would think, own, right? And he changed it around and he allowed it to be in the series. But Neal and Jonathan would have to agree to that as well. So what's the problem? Like,
well, not necessarily. It depends if who was the original writer of Separate Ways. If it was only Steve Perry solo, then he can do whatever he wants in changing it. If the other two did write it along with him and they have copyright, the interesting part about copyright, if you're what we call joint owners, any of the three without an agreement can change it and make money separately.
Really?
Copyrights are a very unique area of law.
Wow.
That's why you need agreements. There's my tip for all your viewers today. Don't do anything without something in writing, ever, in business.
Well, you've made that very clear today. Very, 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 very clear. And also, one of our listeners, Lisa, had a great question too. Now, Neal and Jonathan sold their, what is it called? I'm sorry. It was their rights. It wasn't their publishing rights in 2019 and 2020, but they sold something to do with their music to Hypnosis. So if they sold their intent, or whatever it was called, and I apologize for not having the word right in front of me. So now, is Steve Perry the sole owner of everything? Like, how does that work when you're selling your rights to your music catalog? Because they still don't understand that whole trend either.
So you can sell your rights, which is your copyright rights to the music catalog, which is either if you're the writer or, like I said, a performance of the song or the recordings of the song. And as you've heard, if you remember, Paul McCartney was famously bought was it all of Michael Jackson's songbook
Yes.
years ago, because there's some value to that. So
Right.
anytime like this, the Michael Jackson tribute show has to pay to Paul McCartney in reality,
Right.
whoever owns that copyright. So but again, as I said, in copyright, you can have joint owners. So your rights, when you do a contract, it says your rights, title, and interest. So their rights, let's just say they were a third each. Their 2/3 rights are now owned by the company they sold it to, but Steve Perry still has his third right. So that company can do what they want to do, and Steve Perry can. But like the series would have, when Steve Perry redid it because of the performance of it and the remixing of the recording, Steve Perry would have been able to, because that's called the derivative use, he would have had rights in the derivative just to himself. And then the three original, or again, the new company and Steve Perry would get money for the lyrics itself because they weren't changed. And if they were changed, it's a new copyright to Steve Perry.
Wow.
And again, that's why you have to have, again, and I don't know their agreements. I'm not privy to them. I would love to see them. I always like to see other lawyers work. And by the way, we always Monday morning quarterback all our contracts. And cases like this make you say, let me talk to my clients again and make sure, especially on these bands, who has what.
Is this pretty common, Kim?
Well, I will tell you it's not uncommon, especially with bands that have reached success. The Killers here in Las Vegas, and I know the original drummer, the lead singer is the only original because he kicked every single person out of the band once they became famous.
Oh my gosh.
And the drummer was left out in the cold. Luckily, he married a very smart, actually, IP attorney. And Linda helped him, to get some of his rights back. But it's very common because all performers are artists, and they don't think business-wise most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, lawyers are terrible business people too. Let me make that clarification. I am actually unusual. I have a business background and a law background, but most lawyers are terrible business people too. So I want to be clear. It's not just artists, but they just care about performing. And as you said, like it's kind of during COVID, it's more about they need to be out there. It defines them, and they're artists.
And that's why this has to be kind of, I mean, I know Neal, he's so talented with his guitar playing, performing, keeping the Journey name going, all of that. He's doing all of this himself. And to me, it seems like, how can you? How can you do? I always say, like, you can't do everything perfectly. You just can't, because we're human beings, and eventually something's got to give. But he's trying. And, I think we all have to give him credit for that. He's just trying to keep this thing going. And I don't know. It's crazy to me because Journey's got their 50th anniversary thing coming up next year. And, everybody's had hopes of Steve Perry joining in some way or another. But I think now this probably is not happening, like you had said earlier. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think there's any hopes?
Let me go back to a couple of things. So first of all, Neal Schon, it's great that he's saying, I'm going to take the manager mantle, because he felt that the band has had a lot of corruption, and there's a lot of corruption in musical circles. He's not wrong. Pete Townsend will tell you there was a very famous manager of the Who stole a lot of their money. And there's financial managers who steal money, and there's lawyers that aren't very good, and they're out for themselves. Agents are out for themselves. There's a whole business of I call them hangers on as well, that everybody wants a piece.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same token, you also have to trust some people and have a structure, and you can't do it all. I think you just said that, and I agree. But he's done an amazing job to keep a band going that, quite frankly, after Steve Perry leaves, everybody was concerned. Now, Steve or Jerry stepped in and did an amazing job. Arnaud's done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But, and there's always going to be the Steve Perry camp,
yeah,
and Journey camp, and everybody else. And it's just what it is. I love Steve Perry as well. Now, there's also a lot of band anger when Steve Perry went on his solo career back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had social media back then, who knows what it would have been a little different, probably.
Yeah, right.
And you have other bands that have completely stayed together. We all want to see them back together. And I got to tell you, in my heart of hearts, and from a financial standpoint, so does Neal Schon. Because let's be honest, a Journey show here in Las Vegas, let's just say, with Arnaud is one ticket price. If Steve Perry's with them, that is mega stadiums sold out for mega prices.
I know. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it here I'm not kidding you, all the time. Like the money. Someone said in our group here, they would pay anything, any amount of money to see Steve Perry. Like literally, and I believe that to be true. I believe it to be true. I couldn't say that. I couldn't say I'm going to mortgage my house to go see Steve Perry. That's not happening. But there are a lot of people who would do it, I think.
To see Steve Perry with Journey?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people. I mean, they would camp out for days. I couldn't even imagine what the resale price. So, by the way, I think so that's what I'm saying. I don't believe Schon and Cain are saying, we're doing this. Now, Steve Perry, we don't know his financial situation either, but it would probably be good for him. He's done other projects, but he hasn't performed in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to rule it out still. We don't know what happened in negotiations. Clearly, they broke down because there wouldn't be a lawsuit if they didn't.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they won't negotiate again. But you can also look at the police reunion. I mean, I went to that. It was great, by the way. But it was very clear. It didn't last. As a matter of fact, they couldn't even finish the tour.
Yeah.
Mike Rutherford and Stein could not get along. And people paid a lot of money for that reunion tour, and then they had to cancel and refund money. So, the problem is with bands, and nothing against Neal Schon, nothing against Jonathan Cain, but lead singers are who we look to as a band's identity. Now, some bands can weather that because they have more than one lead singer. Night Ranger is a great example of that. You have Kelly Kagi and Jack Blade. But I have to be honest, I don't think you can really have Night Ranger without Jack Blade, for example. It's not Night Ranger to people.
Yeah.
Foreigner, I mean, while Kelly's done a good job, it's still not Lou Gramm, right? I love Lou Gramm, obviously. So the issue is, am I going to pay the same amount of money to go see Foreigner with Kelly, or am I going to pay a lot more if it's Lou Gramm? I'm going to pay a lot more if it's Lou Gramm.
Yeah.
With Foreigner. If it's just Lou Gramm, I'm still going to spend money then. But I'm not going to spend money to just go see Kelly. So I think that's the real issue. But it's also hard on the other band members because don't take away, and especially here, like a Neal Schon, his whole life is Journey. He's participated. Obviously, he's an amazing player, a musician, and he's a writer. But he's still not that front man that everybody associates with. We're not the high school girl, going, oh my God, it's Steve Perry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. What do you think a lawsuit of this magnitude would cost? Ballpark. Like how many millions, how many Steve Perrys would it cost to settle or go through this whole case like this approximately?
Well, this one's a little different because it's in the trademark office, which is, we call it the TTAB. And just for your listeners, it's through the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Mm-hmm.
And it's through the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board, which is different than being in a regular courtroom. And we have state and federal courts in this country. So they're actually cheaper in the trademark office because it's not the same motion practice that you would have in, say, federal court or in state court. This would be a federal court case because it's trademark. So, so discovery here, while it's limited, discovery is the most expensive part of the case. So I will tell you, if this was in federal court, it would be with these status of these lawyers, you're probably talking, $2 million just in legal fees to get to trial.
Wow.
Here, because we're in the trademark office, it's probably about half of that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So that was kind of a smart move.
I would do it in the trademark office. Here's the other thing. Lawsuits don't end. I hate to tell you. You can actually appeal this to federal court if you didn't like the decision.
Jeez.
And that's in Virginia.
Wow. I don't know. I feel bad. I'm just saying. I just feel bad about the whole thing. It's like, you know what? I like what you said, though. You still have hope. You still think, things could maybe work out, which is kind of weird because I'm sitting here going, how can they get past this? Because I know how angry everybody was when Ross and Steve Smith did that whole coup d'etat thing. And that didn't go over very well. And they're not around. I hope
Yeah.
they're happy and really enjoying their lives. But they just kind of disappeared. So that was
But they're
not
not
happy.
Steve Perry. I mean, nothing against them.
No,
but they're
you're
not
right.
Steve Perry. And
You're right.
no matter what, I still think, one of the things, you can read the lawsuit, you can read all the social media. That's why I actually like that Steve Perry's not responding to Neal Schon social media. If Neal Schon was my client, I'd be very upset that he's on social media. I make my clients, I'm like, do not comment at all. I don't care how hard you want to.
Yeah.
I have social media clients who are very famous, who like to talk all the time. But when we're in litigation, I don't let them speak because, one, it can be used against you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you depose Steve Schon, he actually came out with a second social media post where he basically said that Steve Perry is mentally ill.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, just came out.
Boy.
You don't want to do that because it just doesn't set it up right. But don't get, look, lawsuits are lawyers' things. And I always tell my clients, let me worry about that and you go about your life. Because that's my job. And it's really not personal for lawyers. People think it is. Now, it's great when you get to know some of your clients and you love them. And there's some clients you don't like.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't have to be friends with all your clients. I happen to like some of my clients and get to see some great shows and hang out and get to meet great people like you. But don't get caught up in the litigation language. Because one of the things that all the headlines keep is what the basis for this petition for cancellation is based on. That's based on the law. So you heard words like fraud on the USPTO, false suggestion, not rightful owner, no use of the mark. Those are bases you have to file under the Lanham Act to be in this court. But don't get so caught up in, people think, oh my God, fraud. Fraud is a legal term. It's a higher standard to prove certain things, but it's not, it's not criminal fraud. This is a civil case. This is this is litigation. Litigation happens every day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, one thing I will add, this is not a business divorce because they're not going through everything. This is about 20 songs and merchandise for those song titles only. But I don't think this stops here. I think this was I'm going to use an analogy that I love to use. Do you remember the game Battleship?
Yes.
This is a game of Battleship where they know where the battleship is, but they didn't do a direct hit. They hit over the bow. That's what this is.
Really? It's not this isn't a direct hit, really?
This is not a direct hit.
Because you just talked about, using the word fraud. And to me, I'm like, ooh, that hurt me. And I'm not even involved, so because it's just a strong word, fraud. And, like you said, you made a very interesting comment about, yes, of course, as a lawyer, you cannot have that personal connection once you're inside. You're doing a job for your clients. However, clients going through this, you can tell Neal is like, it is affecting him personally, clearly, because he's posting all of this stuff. So it has to be very stressful on the defendant because you're getting sued. And I'm sure they've been sued many, many times over the years, but this has to be a hurtful one because, again, over the summer, all of the headlines were Steve and I are talking again. We're getting to reconnect. We're getting to know each other. We're talking to him about the trademark work that I've been doing for the band. And now to get zinged like this, that is, to me, I would take it personal. I'm just saying. That's me.
And I get that. And I think that, he might. But again, one of the things here that's a little different, though, that's different than a normal case, this is what I call a business divorce in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Business divorces are always horrible because regular divorces are bad, so don't get me wrong. But at some point there was love, and at some point there was sex, and there's still always a promise of sex, even if there's not love. But a business divorce, there's no promise of love or sex. So they're always they're uglier. And here, I think that what you're kind of going to, the emotion that you're seeing from Neal is this is like a business divorce that he did this. But again, this is so early on in the stages. This was filed on 9/11, and it wasn't what they call instituted until 9/15. It's brand new.
Yeah.
So it just hit him because he found out about it, and he's like, what is going on? And it's like a punch to his gut. What you're feeling, that's what Neal's feeling.
Yeah.
But when he steps back and talks with his lawyer, it's Michael Bartholomew, is a very good lawyer. He'll talk with him. They'll kind of get ready for their response. Like I said, they have till October 25th. They'll talk about it. And then in the meantime, the lawyers are going to try to talk, and maybe they get to what we call mediation. They get a third party involved. There's some very strong mediators, and try to get them back in a room. But my view is, that's why I say, though, don't react on social media. Because if he didn't react, I wouldn't even be on the show right now, because it would be nothing. You wouldn't even know about this.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's so true. But everybody, like literally all of the comments from it's totally dividing fans too on social media. The comments I'm reading,
it really is.
People are mad. Like, they're really mad, and they're taking sides, and they're calling names. And that, to me, it's like, okay, guys, come on. Hold on. Let's just hold on a second. Let's not do that. Because like you said, it's a business. We get that, but I have to say, Neal and Jonathan had to be completely blindsided, because it was, like I said, it's going along. Here we are in the summer. Everything's cool. Oh my gosh, we're talking. We're having that cup of coffee. And then boom, here we go. What just happened? Yeah.
I get that, but I also say to anybody taking sides, we can't take sides, because, like I said earlier, we don't know everything that's happened.
Right.
I'm not going to take either side. And look, like I said, I personally, right. I'm a Steve Perry camp person. I think he's amazing.
Yeah, I am too.
But it doesn't mean that I don't love Steve Jerry. He's an amazing person.
Oh my gosh, love Steve.
So charitable, so amazing.
Yeah.
And Arnaud is great, but I'm not saying that. But I'm the person who's going to say, I want to see Steve Perry and Journey together. In my heart of hearts, that's what I want to see. But if you're asking me here, you're asking me as an attorney. And as an attorney, I'm going to tell you, I've got to see what happened. And there's a lot here to do to figure out these agreements. So we're not there yet. And what I'm going to tell people is, whatever you guys comment on, and that's the problem I have with social media, is everybody wants to have their own opinion. We can't give opinions yet. We're not on the inside.
Right.
So you got to support everybody. You got to still love the music. You got to still love the band. Don't hold it against either one.
Thank you.
And because here's the other thing. They're all fighting. It's about money. They'll have some settlement at some point, but it doesn't affect them. It's going to affect us. Oh, don't go out and burn your Journey albums or your T-shirts because of this case, is what I'm going to tell people as well.
Or your bras. Don't burn your bras, because, some of us need them. I don't. But, I wonder if there are Journey bras. Do you think that's a thing?
I don't know. Bras are not listed here. Socks are, but they didn't list bras.
Bras should be. Hey, there's an untapped market. Put Journey on a bra, and I'm telling you, it's blow up.
You should tell Neal Schon to do that, because it's not on here on their list, but we don't want someone else using their song title to.
Any way you want it on a bra, let's go. I just can't.
I think any way you want it on a bra is great. I don't know though. I think I'll be all right without you on a bra could be pretty funny as well.
There's that business divorce bra. So before I let you go, Kim, by the way, thank you so much. You've done so much for tonight, and we all appreciate it. And I'm hoping everyone enjoyed all of the research you did, which I know they did. You cleared up a ton for me, because I did have so many questions. And I just have to let everybody know what an awesome person that you are, because you just talked about Steve Jerry being so charitable, but you are perfection fitting in here, because you're always doing a ton for your community, as well as your alma mater, Boston University. But currently, you are regional trustee president for Olive Crest, an organization looking to put an end to child abuse and neglect. And our goal here on this channel is to always try to keep things as real as we can, but still maintaining positivity. So having you here, Kim, was just honestly a total honor for me and for everyone here. And like I said, we just all want to spread goodness. And the fact that you're such a good person and you're amazing to your communities around you, thank you very, very much. This was great.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope I didn't bore your listeners too much.
Not at all.
I
Not at all. This
I do
was
want
awesome.
to put a plug in, though, for my brother's charity, Orphan Starfish. I think you met my brother.
That's your brother.
called
That's
Orphan
right.
Starfish
Oh my gosh.
in New York City.
Yes.
October 21st is his gala, and he is going to be honoring Mr. Payne.
Yes.
John Payne and friends. Fee Waybill is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
So if you go to osf.org, there's some information there. But I would, as you say, I like to help the community, but so do so many of these performers. And the Lifetime Achievement Award to John Payne for everything he does. I believe Steve Jerry is probably going to be there as well. He's been there in past years. Lou Graham was there last year.
Yes.
Amazing. But I really appreciate you having me, and it's always good to try to talk to the people. Like I said, I was a little nervous about being a little too boring here on the legal side.
Not at all.
A lot of stuff is not as exciting as people think, but I hope I cleared up. And if people have other questions, and just let me know, and I'd be more than happy to email with them if they need it.
Oh, awesome. So everybody, I want you to know that you can definitely find Kim on Instagram. Go and follow her, Kim Stein 713. Please give Kim a follow and say, hey ho, here from Kiki Nation. That's what you got to do. You got to let her know you're from here and give her a follow. And also, if you are in Vegas and you're in need of a fantastic attorney, Kim is definitely the one that you need to keep in the front of your mind. Kim, thank you so, so much tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank Al as well. And I'm glad you guys are feeling better.
Oh, thank you. And please come. Will you come back?
Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim.
I
Good
look
night.
forward to hanging out again soon.
Me too. Let us know. We're around. Bye, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I wanted to say something, but I know I get in trouble.
I'm so glad you didn't.
I know, but I'm
so glad you didn't.
When you guys started talking about the underwear and the bras, I just wanted to come in there and say things, but I just can't. I just couldn't.
Can I just tell you?
What?
I felt you wanting to say something.
You did?
I felt it.
Well,
was that not awesome, though?
She knows her stuff.
She worked really hard on this, and she didn't have much notice, and she just dug into it. She dug her heels in, and I appreciate Kim Stein so much. Everybody, make sure you go follow her on Instagram.
And if you're in the entertainment business, you got to hire Kim, because she'll look out for you. She really,
any type of business, and if she can't represent you, I'm sure she'll find out who can.
Right, but she answered a lot of your questions, and a lot of stuff going on, and I shouldn't say anything, but I know.
Remember what she said?
What's that?
You have to be supportive of everybody, and I think that's the. So
can I say one thing though?
Wait a minute.
No,
before I forget, no.
What?
Important things. Always have an agreement.
Right.
That was a big takeaway.
Right.
And be supportive of everyone, because we don't know everything. And I said that before the broadcast.
Yep.
Let's not sling. Let's not be sling masters.
Right.
Let's just, take a step back.
Right.
And really see, and also the important thing is, and she did agree as well, we got to love Journey for what they've given to us. Plain and simple.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple. But this is big news. This has been big stuff.
It's big news. But can I say my opinion on it, and then I'll shut up? This is my opinion. Okay. This is my opinion. This is me. So we've been listening to everything that's going on this week. A lot of emotion. The fans are divided and everything else. And I give Neal credit for keeping the Journey name still alive and kicking. Neal hits the younger generation. There's no question about it. He does a great job. Mm-hmm. Younger people don't even know who Steve Perry is. I mean, we do, and everything else. But Steve Perry is Journey in my mind. He is a voice of Journey. Every song that we play on Kiki.fm has his voice in it, and that's it. This whole thing this week, this is my take on it, and I could be totally wrong. This is all a publicity stunt. Now let me say, no, listen. This is free traction for the man. Okay. They're going to have their thing in October, and then they're going to kiss and make up, and Steve Perry is going to be on a few shows next year, the 50th anniversary. That's my take. I could be totally wrong. I think it's a publicity stunt because they're smart.
Ridiculous.
No, well, it is what it is. I mean, what Neal did on social media is sickening. I mean, and Kim kind of alluded to that. I mean,
No, she didn't. Don't put words in her mouth.
All right,
She'll get you.
She'll probably sue me.
She'll get you.
But and what McHale said on
Roberta.
McHale said on social media is wrong too.
Boy.
You're
all righty.
No. Listen, this is a band that has been around for so many years, and I just hope to God that they work things out. But that's my viewpoint.
All right, that's enough from you.
You're afraid of what I'm going to say next, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. But
I'm very afraid.
But but it is what it is. I mean, Journey has been great all these years. They've been great. Why this is happening now, I don't know. I can say a lot of things, but I'm not going to. It hurts me to see what's happening.
Right.
It hurts me to see what happened yesterday. That's all I'm going to say.
What happened yesterday?
I'm not going to say it.
I started feeling better yesterday, so I had a good day yesterday.
I'm not going to say it. But again, egos are involved here. Egos. I mean, they're big egos here.
I thought you said Eagles. Like, I'm thinking Joe Walsh.
No, I said egos. I can't talk straight. What the hell you want?
Don Felder. Like, that's who I'm thinking. Hotel California.
Egos. And they'll resolve it and they'll go forward.
If there was a problem, I'll solve it.
What's that? What'd you say? Next year, Steve Perry will make an appearance at Journey, and that'll be it. Maybe he won't. Maybe. Let me ask you a question, Kiki, and the rest of the radio listening audience here.
All right.
If Steve Perry went out tomorrow and sang the Journey songs, could he do it without Neal and Jonathan?
Could he? I mean, yes, he could. Yes. And people would lick his feet. They would
lick his
completely,
feet.
It would be like the coming of Jesus.
Right.
I'm not even kidding.
But we saw Luke Graham did it with his All-Star band, and John Payne's backed him up for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luke Graham doesn't need a foreigner anymore. And she says she's not going to pay big money. Or everybody says, Kelly Hansen does a great job, by the way. And
Kelly does do a great job.
And Lawrence,
but I understand what Kim was saying.
Right.
I mean, it's the whole value.
Right.
I mean, like Def Leppard, you've done this. Now you got these things in my head.
No.
Is the Rolling Stones without Mick Jagger?
No.
Is Def Leppard without Joe Elliott?
Is Aerosmith without Steve Tyler? No. Is Journey without Steve Perry? Well, you know what? It has been because Neal has marketed it.
Right.
Because that's how he makes his living. I understand.
Well,
that. As I said to you yesterday, that Nell basically.
Why am I here?
No, listen. Nell basically appeals to the younger demographic, which is fine.
But again,
what?
Big move on Neal's part doing that by bringing someone like Arnell into the band.
He found him on YouTube. Sorry, doing it on YouTube
because he knew what he was doing. I mean, he's great. Arnell is great.
He's great.
He's a great singer, great
Steve
performer.
Steve was working at the Gap before he joined Journey. I mean, this is great. I mean, I give Neal.
And now Bill and Jenny are with Steve tonight.
That's right.
And where is Steve performing?
I don't know.
Dude, we saw him a few weeks ago.
West Virginia.
We saw him a few weeks ago.
In East Haven, Connecticut.
And can I just tell you, I'm still burning how on fire he was that night.
Unbelievable.
I'm still hot. Or maybe I have a fever still.
No, he was awesome. He was off the charts.
Like I was shaking.
Right.
He was so unbelievable. Like it was crazy.
Right.
It was crazy.
But you had talked to him a few weeks before that at Twin River,
mm-hmm.
and you said, "Steve, you look so good. What do you do to keep yourself looking so good?" And he says, "I don't sleep." But
oh my God, Gail Simmons said, "I have to say
what?
I cannot." Gail said, "Steve could sing Old MacDonald, and we would lick his feet." I'm telling you,
right?
And
what Kim said, and she said the ticket prices would go through the roof. There's such an opportunity.
I know, but I don't. Can I just say something?
What?
I would like to not have that opportunity because I would like to go if it did happen, and I'm
sad
because I wouldn't be able to spend that kind of money to do.
I know that
So
you
now
don't
I'm
agree
sad
with me.
about
I
it.
think this is all a publicity stunt. You can say I'm wrong. You're going to say, Al, you're full of baloney. But you know what? This is free traction for them. They're all over social media. Everybody's been talking about it. Ultimate Cluster, all these other
Yeah.
threads and everything else.
I know.
You know, and if it wasn't social media, you wouldn't be talking to Kim tonight. You know, you wouldn't be talking about the plants that you danced around together in Long Island together.
You know what I would love to talk to Kim about?
What's that?
The whole Prince thing.
Right. I thought you were going to go there because you talked to Apolloni,
I didn't want
that's
to.
for another show.
I think that's another whole show.
Right.
And if Kim's willing to do that, maybe we'll do that because that was another interesting case.
She knew her stuff on that too because
well, he had no will.
Right,
like, how does that happen?
But when you had the opportunity to interview Apollonia, she shared all that information before she made it public, like a few days later.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing.
Well, Apollonia is so cool.
Yeah, she really is.
So cool.
She's really cool. So I just have to say this to the Journey fans. You know, there's a right way and wrong way to do things. Steve Perry is looking out for himself, and I understand that because he is the voice of Journey. It's simple. That's it. I think Neal, he do whatever he wants, but he should apologize to all the fans for saying all this crap on social media. It's wrong because it shows that you're not. I mean,
I don't know. All right, I'm going to take the counter side on that.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So Neal is a very passionate person.
Of course he is.
Look at how he plays his guitar for us every single day. Right?
I watch him every night. Like, what the hell am I doing this for?
He's passionate about his craft.
He is.
And he's passionate about his band.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Right.
I mean, again, I don't know Neal. I don't know him.
Right.
All I know is what I see. Okay. And I can just go according to what I see and read and all of that stuff. So, you know, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I can't compare myself to Neal Schon, and I'm not going to. But I can get in a way of, it seems like I'm mad. Like you'll say to me, stop yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm talking because I get passionate about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I understand what he did, but like Kim said, he shouldn't have because he got emotional. He got emotional about, he got blindsided.
And
I think so.
He did say that the next day or two afterwards. He says, I get very emotional. Now back to playing music. I understand.
See, I didn't even see that.
But I
didn't even see that because I can't be on social media every 30 seconds.
So
I can't. I don't have time for that.
But it's wrong.
And I sleep a lot.
But I have to say, his wife or girlfriend, Michaela, whatever.
It's his wife. Al.
Okay, I don't know.
Jesus.
What's her name? Michaela.
Mikhail.
She shouldn't be saying things about Steve Perry. No, listen. Just let me talk here. Say the word greed, and like somebody just said a little while ago, Neal called Mr. Perry mentally ill. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But if that's
Kim clearly saw that.
If that's true. Isn't that slander and defamation of character? I'm just saying. I don't know.
All right, Mr. Non-attorney, stop.
No, I'm not an attorney. But you know
this is just an opinion, everybody.
Boys, grow up. Listen, boys.
Boy.
Life is almost over. You know, life
is almost over, everybody.
No. Everybody should get along.
We're just beginning.
No. Everybody should get along. Like cut the crap, play the music, and just shut up. That's what I've been saying all week. I mean, you can say what you want. I don't agree with Steve Perry. I don't agree with Neal. Just shut up and play the goddamn music, people. Just shut up.
Well,
shut up.
Unfortunately, you know, like I said too, yes.
Just play music. Shut up.
It's about the music. We love the music. We want to keep that in our minds and our hearts and our souls. But, you know, sometimes it goes beyond that. And sometimes it takes another turn that we don't want it to. And unfortunately, this is one of those times. I mean, I can't even imagine how many times Journey has been sued over the decades, just like all of these other bands. Like Kim, I'm sure, has gazillions of these stories. But, you know, unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. You get famous, you get in the public eye, and for some stupid reason, people just feel like they want to do these things. But this is different. This is
what Kathy Bailey,
the own band.
What Kathy Bailey just said, just tear that guitar up, leave the drama issues up to the lawyers and the PR people. It should have never been out on social media. Never, ever. No, I mean, I think if Steve Perry put it out there, I think it's wrong for him to put it out there. For Neal to do what he did is wrong. Guys, you're getting old, man. You're gonna be not 10 years from now. Who the hell knows? All you guys have done a great job. The whole, like Steve Legere said to you, there's so many pieces of the puzzle of the Journey camp. So many people have been involved with Journey for so many years.
Yeah.
Greg Raleigh, everybody, Ross, Steve, everything, everybody.
It's a wonderful maze of people that we have come to love, right?
I said to you in March, we got the opportunity to see Journey. The concert was great, but
had a great time.
But it was good. But I could not keep my eyes off of Dean. I could not keep my eyes. And last night they performed in Puerto Rico, which had no electricity and whatever. But I watched that concert, and Dean was on fire. He's a great rock artist. He's underestimated, and he is phenomenal. Just his energy, his drumming, his backup singing. Dean is the whole secret to that Journey band right now. And I mean, I know he's done a great job, fantastic job. But people, Neal, Jonathan, the whole Journey camp, don't go putting people down. I mean, Neal, you shouldn't be doing that stuff, Neal. I'm just saying, just get along, dude. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you want to sit in your room and play a guitar. Enjoy yourself. I'm just gonna say
I think he is enjoying himself.
Yeah, but he's had a bad week. And he took,
you think?
Yeah, but he took it out. Yeah, but he took it out on the fans. The fans.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't take it out on the fans.
I've read a lot of stuff, and a lot of people. I'm not going to say it, but you cannot do this when you got a 50. You cannot do this. Yes, you've done a great job of keeping the band together. Yes, you did a phenomenal job. Steve Perry did a great job. Steve Legere did a great job. Greg Raleigh, all these guys did a great. It's all part of the Journey camp. I'm just saying, I still think it's a publicity stunt because you're talking about it, everybody's talking about it, and it's going to be talked about for the next couple of weeks. And then they're going to kiss and make up and settle. And guess what? Steve Perry appearing with Journey in Las Vegas. What do you think that's going to be like? Kathy Waddle is going to sell her cats.
I saw that. She's just like, I would have to sell Etta. And I'm like, you can't sell Etta.
And like the other night, she put out there that, she had to change the litter. I don't need to know that information, Kathy. I mean,
Yeah, Kathy Bailey, she said, Al, you are right. I saw horrible stuff being said. It took everything I had not to comment, so I had to stop reading it. It's true.
But a lot of stuff is down now. But you know what? You're in a profession. Be a professional. Shut up. Play the music. And go forward, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I do kind of agree with the whole professionalism thing. Like there are some points in time, there are times when I've opened my mouth, unbelievably so, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then I've regretted it later.
Well, it comes bite you in the ass, which I think that's
now I really try to think before I text.
Right.
Or speak and open my mouth.
But I don't think at all.
I just take a minute, I breathe.
It's fine.
I just take a breath.
It's fine. And listen, this is trademark, like Kim was saying about T-shirts and underwear and bras and everything else.
I think the bras are a fabulous idea.
You know what? And people would take the bras off as Steve Perry.
Awesome.
But you know what?
Wait a minute. Oh, we got to. All right, you finish what you're saying. Then we got to talk about 38 Special. We haven't even talked about that.
We'll talk about that in a second. 38 Special can wait. Okay, hold on to me loosely. All right, caught up on you. So I think that guys, settle this. Get Neal. I don't know if you can listen to this. Jonathan, the Journey Camp. Do it tour next year. Bring some of the past members into it. See, Legere is on fire now. He is freaking awesome. Greg Raleigh, oh my God. Bring Carlos Santana back. I know he wasn't, but he's an idol of yours, Neal. Okay? And I'm telling you, people will love it. Bring Steve back. Bring Ross back. Settle what you have to settle. Just shut up because life is short.
So, Kathy Bailey, I wonder if I could trademark the bra, because here's the thing.
No, you can't.
So Victoria's Secret has, like, they're going down or something. Yeah. I don't know, but I like a good Victoria's Secret
bra,
liquid padded bra.
Oh,
like that's my fave.
Oh, I like that too.
And like, because it's squishy and it's just squishy. Nice and natural looking.
Right.
Because I need all the help I can get.
You cannot use a Journey
Hold on a minute.
Logo.
So Journey could have a whole new bra line.
Right.
Like push-up bras for everyone.
Yeah, everybody would come.
And I'm telling you, dude,
right,
it's a lot.
Yeah, but
thank you.
But you give me the idea now. Somebody's going to run with it next week and whatever.
No,
and everybody.
I said it here first.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference.
Can I do some? I'm going to call Kim.
No, don't do it. No, we're not going to call
I'm
Kimberly.
going to call her right
No,
now.
no,
I'm calling her.
no.
Here I go.
No, today
Oh, get my phone.
No,
Get
Kiki,
my phone.
Kiki, stop it. I'm telling you, she's busy.
Kim?
Kiki, stop.
You
Stop it. So anyway, thank you for everybody chiming in here tonight. We're going to talk about what we did a week or so ago.
Well, matching bras and undies, of course. You got to have the matching undies.
Do you think I should wear a bra? I probably should.
And I like the seamless undies. Like you can't have underwear anymore with bands on them because not for anything.
Especially with Journey.
They just dig into your hips, like, and it's annoying and it leaves lines.
But you know what? I think that's a great idea. But, but the thing of it is, the Journey trademark, you can't do that.
Because the quality of Victoria's Secret's bras have really diminished. Can I just say that?
I noticed that.
A bra that I purchased a year ago is already coming apart. It's not even on both sides.
Oh, you were so mad about a week or so ago. He says, "Oh, my bra just got washed. That's up in the washer." And I said,
"No, and the washer had nothing to do with it. It's the quality."
Is the quality?
So maybe if Journey has a good lingerie line, quality line thing.
No. You have a
I would buy it.
No,
I have to be classy.
I think listen, that's fine. We'll figure.
Remember the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday underwear and bra sets? Remember those?
No.
I used to want them so bad. My mother didn't buy them for me.
Well,
I think because she had to buy 7 bras and 7 underwear.
So
she's like, heck no. And I would have never. I would have never matched them up. I would have put Tuesday with Sunday. It wouldn't have happened.
But we'll get on to other stuff here.
They sold them at Kmart.
So available at the Kiki.fm Rock Shop the next 2 weeks will be bras and some underwear, right?
I don't think they do that.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I would have to work with a company. And make sure that it's quality bras and underwear because I am not putting my name on crappy underwear.
I'm going to have to
get that. That was funny.
I'm going to get some.
I'm not putting my name on crappy underwear.
I think I got to get some made up.
That's funny.
And we do what we do.
That was a good one.
I have to try them out and make sure that they last long. So thanks to Kim Stein.
Try them on.
Thanks to Kim Stein from Las Vegas.
Come on.
She's an entertainment lawyer. She's a trademark lawyer. She's been doing law for a long time. A graduate of Boston University here on the East Coast. And thanks for all her information tonight. It was really, it really helped answer a lot of questions for a lot of people.
I lost my top lip this week because of my illness.
And those are all her. There was all her opinions.
It used to be there.
It was not legal advice.
Now it's like thin again. I don't like that.
Yeah, we'll look at my lip. So anyway,
I look like crap.
Oh my God, you don't look like crap. You look fine. Peter Michaels said hello to you earlier.
He did?
Yeah, he was here earlier.
Did he leave?
I don't know.
Bye, Peter Michaels. No, all right, so let's talk about 38 Special. So we got to meet Peter Michaels. Oh my gosh, I have a picture.
Oh my God.
I have a picture of me and Peter Michaels and I should say. Hold on.
Nancy says you look great. How do I look?
Who said that?
Nancy says you look great.
Nancy, thank you, but I feel like crap.
You feel like crap?
I'm just saying.
That's the word of the week. Crap.
Crappy underwear.
Crap.
Oh my God, that's funny.
It's a publicity stunt. Genius.
All right, you sent me the picture. Where is it?
Don't worry. It's genius on Journey's marketing standpoint. It's free traction. Everybody's talking about it. They don't have to pay for it. So the next thing that they're going to say is they all made up, they kiss up, they made up, and they're going to go on tour together. So that'd be great. So 38 Special was it last Friday? We went, and it was at Twin River Casino in Lincoln, Rhode Island, a sold-out show. It was phenomenal. I cannot believe all the people dancing in the aisles. It was absolutely over the top. They've had some great hits over the years, and we saw some pretty famous people, which we can't talk about, but they attended the show too, and it was great. And a lot of our listeners that we have not had the opportunity to meet before, we got a chance to meet them last week. Peter Michaels came with his friend, and I
think his name is Paul.
Was it Paul?
Yeah.
The guy with the bandana around his head.
Yes.
Right, yeah. And it was so nice. And Haley was there. She did a great job as well, too. She wore like a 38 Special type of jacket with fringes and everything else. And everybody loves Haley. It was great, a great time with everybody.
I can't find it.
Don't worry about it. You worry about, you don't prepare, and you just worry about these pictures or whatever.
Oh, wait a minute. There's all kinds of stuff.
But Kiki, you don't have time for this.
Because I want people to see Peter Michaels. Here he is. I found him.
Oh, my God. I just can't.
I found him. All right, hold on. There he is.
Peter Michaels from Massachusetts.
So there's Peter Michaels.
Yeah,
Can you see him? You can't see him. Oh, it's like blurry.
Who cares?
Poop head. But it's on Kiki.fm. And there's myself and Haley and Peter Michaels.
Yeah. Nice guy. Really nice guy.
So there he is.
He's super
Can't
good.
really see it, but
But he plays music and stuff like that. But he listens to Kiki.fm all the time.
yeah.
And he's a really good supporter of the station, and we appreciate everybody's support. So that's
You're welcome, Nancy. So we're going to talk about 38 Special. So
I just did.
no, you didn't.
Okay.
You didn't really properly talk about
Okay.
it. So we went to Bally's. That was fun. That's always a good time. And I love meeting all the people that work there. And there's a guy there. He's a former police officer.
Yeah.
And he worked in Boston.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you must have seen so much. And he said, yeah, I did. And he had like that accent, that Boston accent. His name's Don.
Yeah.
Really cool dude. And of course, Sam, the security guard, he's my friend. And RJ, he's my friend too.
Yeah.
And we just had a great time. And our daughter came in for Quincy's bridal shower. Oh my God, we can talk about that
From
too.
South Carolina.
And she's so cute. And she was videotaped. She did a lot of the videos.
Oh my God.
And she was just yelling
really?
at me. But that's fine.
She yelled at
I'm
me the
used
whole
to
time.
it. She yelled at him. She always yells at him.
Said, Al, what do you have the light on the Al?
And she calls
She
him
doesn't call me
Al.
Dad. She calls me Al.
She calls him Al.
That's called disrespect.
Yep. No dad.
No dad.
She always calls him Al.
Al. Yeah.
And she does it just to bust his bubble.
Yeah.
And
Al.
there were so many people there. It was unbelievable.
So
and I
many
couldn't believe how many people we met. And the show
Right.
was really good.
Really good. It was excellent.
The 38
Pat.
Special show was just boombity, boombity, boombity.
People,
Like it just went, they didn't stop at all. And Don Barnes, the original lead singer of 38 Special,
right.
dude, he changed his guitar like 500 million times.
He's still got a great voice.
Very nice
Now,
voice.
Don Barnes is the original lead singer of 38
Mhm.
Special.
Mm.
Hear what I just said? The original. Would 38 Special
That's
be?
what I said.
No, but would 38 Special be 38 Special without Don Barnes? No. Just saying. It is what it is. So anyway, we met a guy at the end of the event. His name was Dave. And I talked to Dave. I said, Dave, come on over and take a picture with you and Haley. And I says, and I've heard about this guy, and his wife works there. So after I packed up all the equipment and got help from the union, and
Oh my gosh.
and who is that guy that helped me pack up? Oh my God, the
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. So this guy looks like Johnny Cash. He had the hots for Haley, but whatever. So anyway, after I packed up and Haley and Kiki and Kat, went home, and somebody saying, why do you do all the work? And I said, oh, that's what. So his wife was working there. She works as a bartender. And I knew she worked there, but I haven't seen her in over 30 years.
Mm.
Over 30 years.
30.
She was the wife, girlfriend.
30.
She was the wife, girlfriend of a former program director that I had at a station called Kicks 106.
Kicks 106.
And I went up to her at the bar. She's a great bartender. She looks a little different. Of course, I do. I shrunk or whatever. And she's talking to people, and I says, can you help me? She says, what do you need? I said, do you know this guy here? The picture of her husband on my phone. Oh, that's my husband. I love him so much. Now, she doesn't know me from Adam.
I know, like you could be a creep.
Great, right?
You could have him in the back of your car.
So I said to Maureen, I said to Maureen, I says, do you know those two girls he's with? No, but I love my husband so much.
That's so cute.
And now I have my glasses on, and I said, do you know who I am? She says, well, you look familiar. I took my glasses off. You still look familiar. And I said, my name is Kickin' Al. She hugged and she cried. It was great.
Yeah.
It was
cute.
great.
That's cute.
It was great. It was great. I mean, the concert was great, but seeing Maureen after 30 years, that's about what we do and what we enjoy is connecting with people.
Yeah.
Through music.
Yeah.
And that's what Journey's got to do. They connect people from all around the world through music. So don't break that connection, guys. Make it work and just shut up and play the music.
I can't.
No, I can't.
don't even know who I'm talking to.
What?
I'm like, I can't.
What?
We had a whole discussion. I'm like, just be nice.
I am nice.
And just, try to tone it down a little bit. And you're like, shut up and play the music.
No. Listen, you got people going on YouTube and saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. But, we took a break this week because,
took a break. I was dying. I thought, can I just tell you something?
Oh, my God. Here we go.
I thought this was it.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Al,
Yes, I know.
I thought this was the end of the road for me.
Okay. But you're
I
fine.
literally
Oh
did.
my God, don't stop.
And then the pharmacist said to you,
What?
this is a very bad flu season. I'm
Terrible.
like, wait a minute. It's not even flu time yet. How can it be the flu season
she
now?
didn't have that thing that's going around.
I did not have. I had the flu. Thank you very much.
Got the antibiotic.
But let me tell you, can I just say something,
yeah,
people?
Sure. Why not?
Wash your hands and do something.
Right.
Like get in a vat of something when you get home from going anywhere. Because now I just don't want to.
The pharmacist was blaming it all on the kids. But we have been out and
everybody was saying it. Everybody's saying,
we've been out in the social circles a lot
just
in the last few weeks.
Crazy.
Different places, thousands of people, whatever. Yeah. And you got to wash your hands. You don't wash your hands or whatever.
I wash my hands, though.
Yeah, you do.
The thing is, when someone tries to lick your face, that's just a problem.
Well, it'll happen when you see Steve Perry. But, that's going to be happening next year in the 50th anniversary tour of Journey. So
I don't know.
That'd be great.
I like that Kim's hopeful, though. That gave me a ray of light because I really came into this saying,
Yeah, but you know what? But she's a lawyer. She's she's
a great lawyer.
She's very, very good.
And did you hear how smart she is?
I'm trying to say something.
Like she's smart.
Yeah.
She's talking about numbers. I'm like, please don't throw numbers at me.
Right. But the thing is, she's a very good
piece of paper and a pen.
I'll turn your mic off. She's very good. She's very good at what she does, but she's also a rock enthusiast. She's talking from her heart.
Yeah.
She's talking about C. Perry. She's talking about Lou Graham. She's talking about talking about her brother's charity. I mean,
Orphan Starfish Foundation.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John Payne, our buddy, is getting nominated this year.
Yeah.
Person of the Year.
Great guy. And we got to hang out with him at Twin River, and we got to hang out with him at the East Haven, Connecticut.
I touched his hair.
Oh my God!
I don't think he wanted
that's a problem. You touched his hand, you didn't wash your hands for afterwards. That's how you got the flu. But anyway.
Oh my God! No, it's not.
It's not.
No.
And I do have to say that I want to thank. Oh my God! I just had a brain fart. You ever have a brain fart?
Never.
Who was the lady in East Haven who brought me the cannolis?
Gina Thomas.
Great lady. She shows up. Gina Thomas.
Yeah.
To the Voices of Classic Rock in East Haven, Connecticut. We saw Kurt and his family, and Kurt and I sang songs any way you want it and whatever. Yeah. And she brought me a box of cannolis from one of the most famous Luciano's East Haven Bakery. And my God, it didn't last so long.
It's like we want to drive back.
Right.
Just to get more of those pastries.
Right.
They were that good.
But she met Steve Ogier, which is great. And she says, Steve Ogier, when you come back, I'm going to cook you a nice Italian meal. And she says, that's great, But
then our friend Lee, he's like, somebody's going to cook for us or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But I never saw so many people. Him and John and those other guys were eating ribs like going out of style.
Oh my God. All right. So all week, I'm down. I literally was in a bad place. Okay. So yesterday.
Oh, listen to this. Now, this is now she said, "Oh, I'm down. I want you to feel sorry."
Now,
for me.
I didn't really wake up until about 1.
No, I really do.
Yesterday.
I want everybody to feel sorry for me because I the sniffles in my throat, scratchy, but I'm okay. But the antibiotics might be kicking in. So what happened?
So about 1, I started to become coherent for the day.
Coherent.
And then I'm like something came over me.
Yeah.
And I wanted Chinese food.
It's unbelievable.
I haven't eaten all week. I'm telling you, I've had a few saltines. The fat, I have not wanted to eat a thing.
It was great.
It wasn't great. Why?
I don't know.
So anyway, I said, I would like some Chinese food. And then Al goes, are you out of your mind? You haven't eaten for 5 days.
No.
And I said, no, I want some Chinese food. Literally, I have not had it for about 3 years.
No, but tell people.
It tasted so good.
No. So it was
so good.
She's been down all weekend. She hasn't been feeling good. But she goes out, delicious. And before we go for the Chinese food, take a ride, we have to go to a yard sale. So we go to a yard sale. We go to a yard sale. Kiki's
I'm a sick individual.
The people were nice. They showed us their property.
I really am sick.
And they were very nice people. They enjoyed us. They invited us over again, and it's great people. We bought some stuff or whatever.
All right, can I tell you something?
So okay. I filled the car up. The car was packed. So Kiki's saying, "Boo," and she goes to a yard sale yesterday. What are you going to say, Kiki?
So I bought something.
What?
At the yard sale.
Yeah, what'd you buy?
Bought a bike.
Right.
I bought a foldable Schwinn bike.
Foldable.
So this is what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Our neighbor Tom
Yeah.
he has to like adjust the brakes on it.
Yeah.
It's the coolest looking friggin' little bike.
Coolest looking thing.
The coolest thing. And they said their daughter used to drive it around East Haven, Connecticut, Al? Is that where she used to drive around?
I think Cheshire, whatever.
Whatever.
Connecticut.
So I'm like, I got to have that bike. And Al said, are you going to sell it? And I said, no, I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to drive it on the bike path. So once our neighbor fixes it all up, I'm going to do I'm going to put my GoPro on with my chest harness and my falling apart Victoria's Secret bra.
Chest harness, that's good.
And I'm going to go for a little bike ride on my new foldable bike. It's a foldable bike. I've never seen such a thing. Hold on a minute.
Oh my God.
And it looks like a vintage bike, but because it has the handlebars like that, and it has 2 mirrors, so I won't kill myself. And then it has like a little banana type seat, but it's the cutest thing, and I love it, and I can't wait to drive it around. And I'm gonna film it.
So anyway,
I'm gonna show you.
We go to the yard sale yesterday, and Kiki decides to get on the bike and try it out. And I said, she gets on. I says, Kiki, get off the bike.
Thank you, Rita. I love you.
No, I says, Kiki, get off the bike. You're gonna hurt yourself. The woman, who I really don't even know, she hits me. She doesn't even know me. She hits me.
She did.
And she says, leave her alone. You don't even know me. I'm getting beat up by a strange woman. Hey, we're going to buy merchandise from you. And she's hitting me. And I said to her, stop hitting me. But it was great. So from there.
Because he didn't want me to ride the bike because I've been sick. Like, what does that have to do with anything, really?
So then she put an order into Hong Kong Chinese restaurant. And we went. Then she had to go to Market Basket.
They have the best food.
Well, no, Kiki's been sick all week, but she can go to Market Basket.
Hey, we need a paper towel.
And toilet paper.
And more fruit. Because, like, I have to eat fruit just to, like, and then I got bananas.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to eat bananas.
They'll probably ripen up by tomorrow morning, which we good.
Yep.
And you got raisin toast, too.
And I got raisin toast, which we had a slice this morning with peanut butter on it.
That was great.
Oh, my gosh. It was so good.
So good.
It tasted so
good.
The simple things in life, man.
Simple things in life.
Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm going to do a little GoPro tour, bike tour for you guys when I get my bike back. Because it's going to be fun.
Do you have that trademark?
What? The bike?
The bike tour. You got to get that trademarked first.
I don't know. Kim said I could do it. I just did it.
Okay.
Just like I just trademarked my new bra line. My new bra. Oh my gosh. I could have a Kiki Classic Rock bra and undie line.
No, but the thing is, on one bra you say the left channel, on the other
and it'll have all
the right channel.
It'll have all classic
you can listen
rock
to Kiki.fm in stereo.
Wait, what's a good one? All right, what's a good song for a bra? Hold on.
Don't play it.
Oh yeah, come on.
No, not now.
Let's do it.
No.
What song titles would you put on a bra?
No, I'm not Kiki. I don't.
I think it's a great game.
It was good.
I think this is a fun game.
It was good. Not today. All right.
Wait. All right, give me. What does Cheap Trick sing? On underwear. I want you to want me.
The Flame.
Oh, that'd be on men's underwear.
All right. All right.
I just spit on myself.
Say hi to Rita. Say hi to Eunice.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, Rita said, "Don't have a Market Basket there." Let me tell you what you're missing. You're missing out. You have to rally. You have to get together, get a petition going, and get Market Basket in your town because it's the best on the planet. Anyway. Carol Jean says, "I have to go color my hair. I hate doing it. It looks terrible." Stop. Right. I'm sure it looks beautiful, but coloring your own hair. Right. Let me just tell you something.
So,
what a great thing to do.
So,
Al.
What?
I'm talking.
Okay, sorry.
What a fabulous thing to do. I've done it twice already the past couple of months.
Yeah, me too.
Myself, because now in November when Corey and Quincy get married, I have to do the whole hair thing again. So I'm just going to wait, and then by then I'll have my person, my wonderful Davin, go ahead and color my hair properly. And cut it and trim it and all of that fun stuff. And I bought a hair mask.
Oh, great.
From Bio something at TJ Maxx. It was $8.
Yeah.
Stuff did okay, but my ends are just a disaster.
Well, you know what I noticed in the 38 special video that Kat put together? My hair is really silver and gray now. I mean,
you think, Al?
I mean, I don't.
You're just noticing this?
I don't.
It's been like this for years.
It has?
Yes.
I just noticed it.
You always do this to me. You'll go, "Is my hair gray?" I'm like, "It's been gray for a decade." Like, what are you talking about?
Well, I just noticed it last week. I mean, it seems like I have a lot more hair than I used to. Do I?
DG, that's a good one. Hold Yourself Up. That's a good bra one by Argent. Hold your head up, But you could call it something. Hold yourself up or something like that.
Eunice says any way you want it for
Any way you want it for the
No, I
underwear.
can't
Well,
because
that's kind of
copyrighted.
a little scary.
Yeah, you can't copyright that.
Well, we're just having fun.
That's right.
We're just having some fun.
So Kathy's arrived at the Casey and the Sunshine Band concert right now. And Kathy, this is appropriate for her. She has an abracadabra on her bra.
Oh, that's nice.
Right.
Means you're all magical. I have a little.
I have no response to that.
Al, we have to decorate the studio for Halloween, though.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Why you decorate for Halloween? For what purpose? You're going to be decorated for 1 week.
And Kathy said they're playing Don't Stop Believing. That's, all right. I think it was Kathy earlier.
Ooh, what?
Brought up, can the Applebee's commercial be playing Don't Stop Believing?
Yes.
I saw that too. And I didn't think that was right.
No.
Because you can't find it anywhere online.
No. I don't know if Applebee's commercial, but I know in venues like casinos and restaurants, they pay a royalty fee to play the music through the speaker system.
No. This was on a TV commercial.
Well, is it the original Don't Stop Believing? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like, something's not right. I didn't.
Don't worry about it. Talk to the lawyer. She'll figure it out. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go to bed now. I am exhausted.
I'm going to go to bed with you.
I am glad I was able to do this for you guys tonight.
No, you guys.
Thank you to everyone who has purchased merch from the Kiki Rock Shop.
Right.
We totally appreciate it because every little bit
helps
that comes into this channel and station and everything goes right to the radio station, Kiki.fm, and helps keep it on the air and us here. So we thank you.
It's soon to come, Kiki.fm. Bras and underwear just for you.
I would do it. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. Right. It's got to be good quality though.
Right.
And it's got to be the squishy water pads for the bras.
What the hell are you talking about?
Just like a little tiny water bed in your bra. I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm all about it.
That's great. But thanks for everybody for chiming in tonight. Thanks. Kim did a great job tonight.
Kim is amazing.
She just laid it on the floor tonight. Really, really good insight. And we don't understand it, but guys, shut up, play the music, get along. Life is short, man. And stop putting stuff on social media. And you just, listen. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this. Journey is great. Journey's great now. Journey would not be Journey without Steve Perry and the rest of the gang. That's it. So
thank you, Carol Jean.
Shut up and just play the music.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone and also sending me your well wishes all week. Thank you. I literally I don't think I looked at everything until yesterday. That's how down I was. I'm not 1,000%.
But she was okay to get Chinese food and go to a yard sale and ride a bike.
It did
and
feel
go
good,
to Market Basket.
Yeah, but I'm exhausted. Right. I'm totally exhausted. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed right now. So guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks again to Kim Stein. I put her Instagram handle in here somewhere. So please go and follow her on Instagram. Give her a big, hey, what's going on, Kim? She is awesome. You are all awesome. Thank you for hanging in there with us. We love you so much. Hopefully I will see you on Tuesday night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, guys, always stay strong. Be kind to everyone. And most importantly, it's all about the music. Turn up the music as loud as you can. Sing and dance like no one is looking. And always remember to always keep rocking. Love you guys. Good night. And thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.